Good morning, cadets. Today we shall discuss about electrostatics of conductors. You know what are conductors? Conductors are the ones which conduct electricity or heat. Conductors are the one which conduct electricity. The conduction of electricity is mainly due to the availability of free electrons in the conductors. The electrons which are freely movable in the conductor, we term them as free electrons. Since free electrons are available, so the electricity is readily passed through the conductors like metals. Now, in the static situation, how does the conductor behave? What are the properties of a conductor in static situation? Means, if a conductor is charged, how does it behave? That is what we are seeing, that is electrostatics of conductors. So, the first point to be remembered here, inside the conductor, the electric field is 0. Inside the conductor, the electric field is 0 in static situation. Consider a conductor of any shape, whether this conductor is neutral or electrically charged, or even this conductor is under an external electric field, then the electric field inside the conductor is always 0. So, that is the meaning of first point. How is that electric field inside the conductor 0? See here, when it is neutral, then the number of charges, net charge inside the conductor and on the conductor will be 0. When it is charged, when the conductor is charged, the excess charge will be always present on the surface of the conductor when it is charged. The excess charge, let us say positive charge, is distributed uniformly on the surface since it is a conductor. Then electric field inside the conductor is going to become 0. The reason is the net charge inside the conductor is going to be 0. Net charge, if you calculate number of positive charges and negative charges inside the conductor is going to be 0. Therefore, electric field inside the conductor is 0. When it is kept in an external electric field also, even in that situation, the conductor will be electrically charged only on its surface. The net charge inside the conductor, if you calculate the total number of positive and negative charges inside the conductor, become 0. Therefore, electric field inside the conductor is 0. Whatever the excess charge is there, excess charge will be present only on the surface. Excess charge due to charging is distributed over the surface. Over the surface uniformly, so that it will have uniform charge density on the surface. You know, we have discussed already, the charge density is amount of charge per unit area. So, the entire surface, only outside surface will have a uniform charge density. That uniform charge density is denoted by sigma. The reason is the charges are conducted. The charges are conducted. Therefore, the charge is uniformly distributed and it will be settled in static situation. Therefore, net electric field inside the charge is 0. So, from the first point it is clear that the total electric field inside the conductor is always 0. Since the conductor is totally charged and the excess charge resides only on its surface, the electric field is present only on the surface, outside the surface. So, the electric field at the surface of the charged conductor, the electric field must be always normal to the surface. The electric field must be always normal to the surface. So, if you draw electric field, it will be always having perpendicular component normal to the surface. So, these are the directions of electric field. This is a conductor of any arbitrary shape, right. So, the electric field will have only normal component, it will not have parallel component. In case at the surface of the charged conductor, electrostatic field is not normal. Suppose it is having some component in any other direction, some direction of electric field instead of this. Suppose it is having electric field in this any other arbitrary direction, say with some angle theta with respect to the surface at that level. So, this electric field which is not normal will have two components, one perpendicular component, another one parallel component. So, parallel component will be E cos theta and perpendicular component can be written as E sin theta. In such situation, when the electric field has a horizontal component, this electric field exerts force on the charge that is present here and the charge sets into motion. When the charge sets into motion, this charge exerts a repulsive force on the next neighborly lying charge and that charge is also set into motion along the surface. In this way, the charges exert a repulsive force on each other along the surface. As a result, you will find the charges moving along the surface and there will be current on the surface which is not existing at all. For a charged conductor, in static situation, charges are uniformly distributed and they are at rest. No charge will be in motion. So, if charges are in motion, then it will be having electric current. So, this suggests that there is no parallel component of electric field existing. Parallel component of electric field existing. It has only component that is perpendicular component. So, you can see if E cos theta is non-zero, then that would be exerting force on the charge. The charge will be set into motion because of parallel component of electric field if it is existing. As a result, the charge starts moving. That charge exerts a repulsive force on the next neighborly lying charge. As a result, repulsive force keeps on increasing. When the repulsive force keeps on increasing, you may expect the charges in motion along the surface of the conductor which is not existing at all in static situation. Therefore, there is no electric current existing on the surface. So, there is no parallel component of electric field. Electric field has only perpendicular component and no parallel component. No parallel component. Therefore, in the static situation, the electric field is always normal. So, if you show here electric field, the electric field is perpendicular with a unit factor n which is perpendicular to the area here. So, if you draw a tangent here and normal to that tangent gives you direction of electric field. Electric field exists only on the surface and it is always normal to the surface. This is second point. The third point, interior of the conductor can have no excess charge in the static situation. Consider this is a conductor, same conductor I can say. When the conductor is neutral, as we know, the number of positive charges and negative charges are equal. So, electrically the conductor is electrically neutral. So, electric field is also 0, whether it is interior or exterior, electric field is 0, and excess charges will also be not present. When the conductor is fully charged, then as we have seen the first point, the excess charge will reside only on the external surface. The excess charge will reside only on the outer surface, and the interior there is no excess charge existing. So, if you calculate the total charge present inside any volume of this conductor, it is a solid conductor, I am saying this is a solid conductor. If you consider any volume inside this conductor, then if you calculate the total charge is going to be 0, because the net total charge here, total number of positive and negative charges inside that limited volume is going to be 0. As a result, net charge is 0 and electric field is also 0. For example, if you consider small volume V. For this small volume V, if you apply Gauss law, then the total electric field, the total electric flux linking with this volume, the electric flux due to this volume is equal to charge divided by epsilon naught. Total electric flux linking with this small volume, interior volume, flux linking with this volume is equal to net charge by epsilon naught. And we know electric field inside is 0, which is again given by E into ds. E dot ds is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Since E is equal to 0, we have found out in the interior E is 0. Interior of the conductor, electric field is 0. It is present only on the surface. Since E is 0, this implies the left hand side is 0. So, Q by epsilon naught is 0. Q by epsilon naught 0 implies that the charge enclosed is 0. This implies charge enclosed by any volume is 0. Therefore, the net charge in the interior of the conductor will have 0. Only it will have excess charge on the surface. So, this is the third point, which is again enunciating about the first point. Both the points are 0. Even if you apply Gauss law, we come to know that net charge is 0. Charge enclosed by any volume in the interior of the conductor is 0, because electric field is 0. Okay. So, this is the third point. Let us see the fourth. Next is the very important point. Electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor. When E is 0, V is constant. Volume, that is potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor, and it has the same value on its surface as it is having the value inside the conductor. Whatever the value of potential is there on the surface, just on the surface, it will have the same value even inside the conductor. This we have seen earlier. For an example of spherical shell, uniformly charged spherical shell, we have calculated volume. For a uniformly charged spherical shell, we have calculated electric field on the surface, electric field outside the surface. Outside the surface, electric field keeps on decreasing, and even we calculated potential on the surface, and it remains constant throughout the surface, and electric field outside the spherical shell, which is inversely proportional to distance, it keeps on decreasing. This is what we have calculated for a spherical shell which is uniformly charged. Here the same thing is applicable for a conductor of certain volume. For a conductor of certain fixed volume, the electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume, as well as it is having same value on its surface as it is having the value inside the conductor. Suppose this is a conductor, same conductor, which is neutral. When it is neutral, you see it will not have any electric field. Electric field inside it is 0. When electric field is 0, we know from the relation dV by dl, we know that rate of change of potential with respect to distance gives us electric field. So, if you take the magnitude, let us take the magnitude, then electric field is defined as potential gradient. So, when electric field itself is 0, if electric field itself is 0, then it is understood that V should be constant. It means there is no change of potential from one point to one point. Therefore, potential V remains constant. Potential V remains constant. Suppose this conductor is charged. If this conductor is charged, then the charge is uniformly distributed on its surface. When the charge is uniformly distributed on the surface, then we have seen that the electric field has only component perpendicular to the surface everywhere, and electric field exists only perpendicular outwards. Every point it is perpendicular, and this electric field denoted by E vector has only component outwards, and it has 0 electric field inside. This is also we have studied from the first point, and it has no non-zero, it has no tangential component, that is tangential component E parallel is 0. So, when there is no tangential component, the work required to be done in order to move a charge from one point to another point along the surface is 0. I think you got the point. When there is no electric field tangential, surfacial, parallel to the surface, when there is no electric field existing parallel to the surface, then the work needed to move a charge from one point to another point along the surface is 0. When 0 work is required to be done per unit charge from one point to another point, it implies that potential at every point on its surface is same. So, potential difference between any 2 points on its surface is 0. So, this is the point on the surface. What happens inside the surface? This is also can be observed. This can be also observed from this point. Let us say that we are bringing a charge from here to charge inside. Let us say this is a point A and this is point B. We want to move this charge from A to B. Then we call the work needed to be done in moving the charge from A to B as WAB. Then work can be calculated. Let us calculate the work done in moving from A to B. We are considering the charged conductor. Work done from A to B is calculated as Q naught into E. Q naught into E. So, Q naught into E implies that electric field inside the conductor multiplied by Q naught, let us say the test charge, it is 0. So, work done is also 0. This is one way. So, we can also write work done per unit charge. Work done per unit charge as equal to the potential difference between the points VA minus VB. VB minus VA. VB minus VA, the difference in potential between B and A gives us the work done per unit charge in moving the charge from A to B, and work done per unit charge is 0. Just now we have seen how is it 0, because this is given by Q naught into E, where E is the electric field inside, and we have seen that electric field inside the conductor is 0. So, when the electric field inside the conductor is 0, this implies that work done is 0. Therefore, this left hand side becomes 0. This implies work done per unit charge is 0. When work done per unit charge is 0, then difference in potential is 0. VA minus VB or VB minus VA is equal to 0. It implies VA or VB is equal to VA. So, take any point in the interior of the conductor. At every point, the potential remains same. Whatever the potential is there on the surface, the same potential continues throughout the volume of this conductor. Thus, we say that this conductor acts as a equipotential volume. This acts as a equipotential volume. So, we are coming to a very important conclusion that every conductor like copper, aluminum, take any conductor, silver, gold, every conductor has got its own value of potential. Every conductor has its own potential. The potential of the conductor differs from metal to metal, from conductor to conductor, right. So, that is evident from this important point. The electrostatic potential is constant throughout the surface and throughout the volume of the conductor, and it has the same value on its surface as it has inside the conductor. So, remember, inside the conductor electric field is 0, but volume is constant. Whatever the volume is, but potential is constant. Potential is constant. When potential difference is 0, this implies that potential is constant. Therefore, it behaves like a equipotential volume. Every metal, every conductor has got its own constant value of potential, whether it is charged or neutral. So, this is very important point. Now, let us see the next important point. This is a very important point. The electrostatic field at the surface of the charged conductor. Electrostatic field at the surface of the charged conductor is calculated as electric field vector is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught into n cap, where n cap gives you direction of electric field. Let us consider that this is a conductor of any arbitrary shape. When it is charged, the charge is uniformly distributed throughout the surface and it has uniform charge density sigma. Uniform charge density sigma, that is charge per unit area, charge per unit surface area, and we have seen that electric field inside is 0. It has 0 value inside the conductor. This is what we have already understood. It has only electric field outside, which is perpendicular like this. Now, let us calculate what is the value of this electric field, right. Now, to calculate the electric field, we will make use of Gauss law. We will apply Gauss law. To apply Gauss law, we consider a small surface area. Let us say this is a small surface area, elementary area ds, and we construct a cylindrical surface, a cylindrical Gaussian surface which is having upper and lower circular faces with a surrounded cylindrical face, right. And we know the upper surface and lower surface will have area vector outward normal. Area vector is outward normal. So, this gives you area vector outward normal for the upper surface, and similarly inward normal perpendicular to the inner surface gives you area vector ds vector. Ds area vector, right. You can take even n cap. Okay. Let us take n cap. N cap to represent the area vector direction. Area vector direction. And we know electric field is also outward normal. Electric field is also outward normal. So, if we construct a Gaussian cylinder to enclose the small surface area, small surface area, let us say A only, let us take small surface area as A itself, easier to understand. So then the area of this enclosed surface and area of this circular flat surface of the cylinder and area of the upper flat surface, flat circular surface, all the areas are same values, because we are constructing a Gaussian surface, Gaussian cylindrical to enclose the small surface area A. So here the charge enclosed from this charge density sigma, we can calculate what is the charge enclosed. Q is equal to, if Q is the small amount of charge that is enclosed, then we can write it as sigma into A. Then applying Gauss law. See here, this cylinder is constructed such that it is bit outwards as well as it is passing inwards also. It is present inside as well as outside the surface, so that we can apply Gauss law for these surfaces, number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 1 is upper circular surface and the number 2 is lower circular surface and number 3 is the surrounding cylindrical surface, so that we can apply Gauss law for these enclosing surfaces. Applying Gauss law to the enclosing surface, enclosing cylinder, we write total outward flux is equal to 1 by epsilon naught the charge enclosed, 1 by epsilon naught the charge enclosed. The charge enclosed here is sigma A upon epsilon naught. Now let us calculate the left hand side. Left hand side is the total outward flux. This is total flux linking with the surface, total outward flux linking with the surface. Now apply to the first surface phi 1, I can write it as total phi is equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3. Phi 1 flux linking with the first flat circular surface, flux linking with the second flat surface as phi 2 and flux linking with the cylindrical curved surface as phi 3. Now from this, if you look at it, phi 1 is integral of E dot ds. Integral of E dot ds for this circular surface gives you E into A, because electric field and area vector both are in the same direction. So the angle between electric field and area vector is 0, E A cos 0. So I will write it as E A cos 0, E A cos 0 as phi 1 plus phi 2. Look at this. Phi 2 is again in the same way I am applying for the second circular surface. Here the area vector is vertically outwards, that is, you can see it is exactly opposite. Here this becomes the area vector, but there is no electric field at all. Electric field inside the conductor is 0. Therefore, this becomes 0, because 0 into A cos theta, whatever may be the angle. So when the electric field itself is 0, then phi 2 becomes 0. Plus, look at this cylindrical surface. The cylindrical surface at any point, if you take cylindrical surface, the cylindrical surface has a area vector outward which is perpendicular to the cylindrical part of that curved surface. And you see electric field. Electric field does not have any tangential component. Electric field is always acting along the cylindrical surface. It is always perpendicular to the surface. Therefore, it becomes E A cos 90. So you can write, if you consider that it is a small ds area here, E ds cos 90. So that becomes the flux phi 3 linking with the curved surface. Therefore, E ds cos 90 is 0. Therefore, it becomes 0. Thus, it becomes E a cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. E a cos 0, if you just look at it, cos 0 is 1. So, it becomes E a plus 0 plus 0. Therefore, finally, we are left with total electric flux linking with the Gaussian constructed surface is E a. Therefore, E a must be equal to Q upon epsilon naught. Therefore, I will write E a must be equal to sigma a upon epsilon naught. Look at this. The a on the left hand side, a on the right hand side cancels. Therefore, you are left with electric field equal to sigma upon epsilon naught. So, this gives you the magnitude of electric field. If you consider the vector notation, the direction of electric field is outward normal, that is perpendicular, that is given by n cap. So, this gives you electric field at the surface of the charged conductor given by E equal to sigma upon epsilon naught n cap, which is evident by constructing a Gaussian cylinder and applying Gauss law. We get electric field is equal to sigma upon epsilon naught n cap, which is a constant value or just on the surface. It is constant just on the surface. Everywhere the electric field is constant, okay, which is given by sigma upon epsilon naught n cap, where sigma gives us charge density. Charge density is constant throughout because it is a conductor. When it is charged, the charge is uniformly distributed. Therefore, it will have uniform charge density sigma. Therefore, electric field on the surface at the surface of the charged conductor is constant, which is given by sigma upon epsilon naught n cap. N cap gives you direction of electric field perpendicular to the surface. This is a very important point. The next one is very important. Electrostatic shielding is a very important property of a charged conductor. Electrostatic shielding, it tells you again about the electric field inside the conductor. If there is a conductor and if this conductor has a cavity inside, there is a space, empty space inside, then even if this conductor is charged, if it is charged, the charge is uniformly distributed throughout the surface. Since it is being a conductor, then the entire surface will have a uniform distribution of charge, and then electric field exists only on the surface. As we have seen, electric field exists only on the surface, which is perpendicular, and just now we calculated electric field value. It is given by sigma upon epsilon naught n cap, and you know, inside the conductor the electric field is 0 and it has constant potential. So, this plays a very important role as it is called as electrostatic shielding. So, in the electric field inside the cavity, cavity means having certain volume, having certain space inside, where there is nothing. Inside the cavity of a charged conductor, electric field is 0. The electric field is 0 because it does not have any net charge inside. We have just now observed net charge inside this cavity is 0. When net charge inside this cavity is 0, definitely electric field is 0, and throughout this cavity potential is constant. So, even if this entire conductor is totally charged with maybe any strong electric field, any component which is there inside, very sensitive component which is placed inside this cavity of this metallic charged conductor, that sensitive material will be safe. It will be safe because there is no charge leakage from outside to inside. So, it will be safe inside this cavity, and there will be no question of any kind of electric discharge. There will be no electric discharge inside. right? That's how we call this important application as electrostatic shielding. For example, suppose it is raining very heavily with thunderstorm and lightning. It is quite common in this monsoon season. When it is thunderstorm with heavy rain, there is every chance of lightning strike. So, if we suddenly enter into a bus, or if we enter into a car and close the windows and everything, if we close the windows and doors of the car or the bus, even if it is lightning strike, the lightning strike immediately distribute the charge throughout the external surface of the metal body. Since a bus or a car is a metal surface, the metal surface readily conducts the entire charge of lightning, and it will allow the charge to go through the earth due to earthing, due to grounding. And the person who is sitting inside the space of the bus will be safe, because there is no leakage of charge, there is no transfer of charge from external surface to internal surface. So, this is how the person will remain safe inside the bus or a car or any metal body if it is not in touch with the surface, if it is not exposed to the surface. Person should be well inside, and windows should be closed, and there should not be any opening, right? So, that is the meaning of electrostatic shield. Electrostatic shielding. Inside the cavity of a conductor, the electric field is 0. Whatever the charging is there, charging takes place only outside. It will have some amount of charge, uniform charge density sigma. As a result, it will have electric field only outside, which is perpendicular to the surface. So, inside the cavity of the charge conductor is 0. So, any component, any electronic sensitive component kept under the metal case, metal case means kept under the metal case remains safe out of danger of electric discharge or short circuit. This is the meaning of out of danger of electric discharge or short circuit. This is the meaning of electrostatic shielding. Okay. Now, these all 6 points are very important as far as the electrostatics of conductors are concerned. So, in the next we will discuss about the conductors and non-conductors. How do they behave when they are placed in the external electric field? The behavior of conductors and insulators or dielectrics when placed in external electric field. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.